In the most recent versions of Honkai Star Rail, I've gotten some really strong support characters and built them up quite nicely. And today I'm going to be taking them onto the newest event with a lot of broken characters that are available to see just how well I'll do. This new event is quite like what we've seen before with a boss rush style, but like I said, I've gotten a lot of strong support since then, so I feel like it's going to be extremely easy. Plus, being able to use some of the characters that I don't even have with broken circumstances is always fun. For the first stage, I'm going to be taking the broken Nihility combo team that I've talked about in the past, and you already know that they're going to do a lot here because there's an immense amount of lightning weakness spread across every enemy. So especially Kafka and Acheron, they're going to do a lot here, and the dot damage from Black Swan is going to be helpful. I'm going to be taking effects that focus more on the dot damage rather than just buffing up the ultimate damage from someone like Acheron, because I think that's going to be really good in combination with Acheron's damage as always. So let's go ahead and jump into this. And what's really cool about this event, like some of the other ones as well though, is over time you're going to see a damage increase going up. Like as I get the grid value up, I'm getting these buffs that I've selected here for number 4. You don't actually get to choose that one, but yeah, it's going to be really good to have that high amount of damage. We can come on in with Acheron's ult right away. This thing already has its weakness broken almost, which is pretty crazy. So let's see if we can get through this extremely quickly. Yeah, it's already almost dead. So now my next step, once I'm at this point, right, is just to get through this, kill off the enemies. We don't really need to worry about our ults because once we get to grit value 4, it'll give us all of our ultimates for free, which is really nice. Ooh, that's some pretty decent dot damage. It's almost dead. All right, so we're gonna start off the next phase here. All of the ultimates present except for Black Swan and Gallagher's. That's nice. So let's come in with Acheron. We're really close to grit value 4, which is where the fun is for sure gonna begin. So let's do that. Follow up with Kafka, and Gallagher's really solid on this part because of that fire weakness. He can take care of this thing quite nicely. There we go, we got our ultimate. So honestly, I should have started it there with Acheron because now I'm giving up on 2 extra stacks towards her, but I really like to do this just so we can get it down, and then also if we need any healing on top of that, we can heal up, but we're completely fine. Let's do this. Nearly 500k. Yeah, what can I say? This level 4 grit is absolutely broken. All right, this is gonna weakness break, and we're gonna be very close to Acheron's ult now. There we go. Oh my gosh, that was nearly 800,000 right there. That was a really good pop by Kafka. So let's do this. Almost 1 million with Acheron. That is what we're looking for. That is extremely good. There we go. Nice. So we're going to be moving on into Stellar Hunter Sam with a little bit of grit value 4 still left. Sam really doesn't take that much damage anyway until he gets his weakness bar present. So right now we're kind of just saving until then. I need to get Gallagher's ult though so that we're prepared for that phase. Once we use skill points, we lose health, of course. Now we can start going to work. We're really close to grit value 4. So that's actually, yeah, that's actually better because I might be able to get a pop off with Acheron's ult here before we reach that. Oh no, not quite, but that's okay. Getting your ultimate back, especially on someone like Acheron, once we have all of these stacks and the actual ults back themselves, is really easy. So let's do that. We're gonna come in with Gallagher next. I mean, it's just amazing how much damage you're able to do once you're at grit value 4. Okay, 307 actually. It was higher on the other stage, but I think that's because, you know, we were doing more to those enemies. But here we have Acheron to come in. She's gonna do a lot more. Almost 1 million right there. That's the actual nuke that I'm talking about, and that's without the effect with the ultimate. Like I chose to go with dot to play it safe, and we're really close to Acheron's ult once again. Look at that dot damage coming clutch, and I can follow it up with Acheron. Nice. All that's left now is for Kafka's ult, which is going to be very easy to get with that follow-up attack. There we go. Will not only break, but this might actually kill him here. Extremely close. Now you know what, let's finish it with Acheron. 1 swipe, 2 swipe, 3 swipe. Is it going to be over 1 mil? It was, and there we go. That is the first stage. Broken team. Can't stress enough, that's without the buff for having your ultimate increase damage. So with the ultimate boosts instead of the dot ones, I had more or less the same results here. Let's see how much this is going to do. Hopefully it'll be able to finish things here. I actually think this was a more enjoyable run, if I'm being honest. All right, come on Acheron, let's see it, let's hit it. We're actually really close to also breaking through his weakness break. 1.4 million. Yeah, that's actually a little bit of an increase from the other one. All right, so let's finish it here with Acheron. We're gonna use the E, and then we'll come in one more time with the ultimate, and this one might do even more actually. Let's see. No, about the same. So there we go. Yeah, that one was a little bit quicker than the other run, I won't lie. I was able to get SS this time around, but I feel like the results were about the same. I was just destroying them. The second stage takes advantage of the amazing Jinglue and even Blade combination, which is going to be very helpful for this stage, especially with the typings that are present. I unfortunately don't have the majority of these units, so this is going to be extremely trial heavy, but I am going to be taking the boosts that are more catered towards characters like Jinglue and even Blade. So yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I'm probably not going to show off that much of this run just because this is a team composed of mostly trials, so your experiences are going to most likely be identical to mine in that regard. I like doing these kind of videos with my broken characters that match the formula because it's fun to see how my team might differ from yours. But even so, I do think that it's important to mention that my Bronya is not at hyperspeed in this run. I do have her at hyperspeed with the same build that I give Sparkle sometimes, but with this Jinglue in particular, because they have her at like 140 speed or something, I decided to just go like one speed below. Out of the two though, I feel like Jinglue is definitely the character I would want more. I've been looking so forward to her rerun, and if it wasn't for the fact that Acheron was so busted, I probably would have just saved everything for Jinglue outright. But I still am holding out hope that I'll be able to get her. We'll see though. But being able to use a character like Jinglue or even Misha, which I've been working on, would be nice for this ice typing. Yeah, so this enemy is pretty much dead, and we'll just probably move on to the last one. Like I said, I don't want to show like a lot for this one because it's just trial characters regardless. Yeah, this team definitely is really good on this phase, especially because of all the weaknesses. I mean, you have ice, and you also have the wind, which is really good. If I was to have brought maybe a physical damage dealer, I know that it would have been even better. But wow, this team is really strong, even though this Jinglue is not the strongest one I've ever used. And again, I'm a little biased since I've used her in her max potential. She definitely still puts in that work, and with this, surely she is gonna finish it off, right? Argenti is dead. Yeah, I think he is, but this was definitely the most trial heavy so far. And there we go, we finished that one, and yeah, that was pretty fun. And on to my favorite stage, which shouldn't be a surprise if you see the lineup. Dan Heng and Lune hyper carry team, because there's so many imaginary weaknesses here, especially on Kafka, with hyperspeed Sparkle, Ting Yuan as a support, and then of course Fu Xuan for that sustain. We're going to be taking these buffs, which I think is going to be very helpful for Lune. So let's go ahead and get into this one. I am looking very forward to this because of course Lune is my best build character. All right, for this first phase, I don't necessarily have any buffs on Lune yet because I need to get set up with skill points. We're going to be really close to the ultimate here, and even Sparkle, if she gets hit as well, well, I mean, I guess I do have return right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Hyperspeed Sparkle, I love her so much. So broken. Capability that she offers, especially within Lune. So let's do this. We're already really close to the ultimate, but you know what? Let's just go ahead and use it to get that nice damage boost. All right, first in Lune usage here, and we're already almost done with the boss, which is crazy when you consider the fact that he's about to attack right again right here. So let's do this. This is going to be with 2 stacks this time, and he is literal one shot. That's crazy. I love my Lune, man. You know, someone that would be really good to bring here, which they don't have in the trial section, is Hanya, because I think the physical weakness, along with being able to get even more skill points, especially if you don't have someone like Sparkle, that's going to be very helpful for getting skill points for Lune. But you know what? We're completely fine. We don't really need that extra amount of skill points. Let's go ahead and pop Sparkle here. Got that nice damage boost. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and pop ultimate first. And then after that, the E should be able to take care of it pretty quickly. Honestly, with Sparkle, like, it really does feel like the propagation path. Wow, Fu Xuan would get sealed though. That sucks. That's okay though. Let's come in with Lune once more. This is going to get us the ult, which should help us clear this final phase out. With that, we will definitely be able to finish here, and then we can go on into the next phase with that nice damage boost. With that alone, we might be able to clear the last boss, which is of course Kafka. Right there on the ult, almost 900,000 damage. Are you kidding me? We got full skill points, full boost. Let's go ahead and drop it down on Kafka. 300,000 right there. Really nice. Then we'll follow it up with the ultimate. Almost 300,000 in its own right, and then we'll use Sparkle. We actually almost broke through before Kafka even had a turn. That effect from Grit 4 where you're able to get your action advance forward is absolutely broken for this. So let's drop Invited Luna's ult in and then followed up with the E, and we should be done. Absolutely amazing. I really love this stage. It's so awesome to just use a broken Invited Luna, and this team, what can I say, absolutely stomps. That is SS rank on that one. For the fourth stage, I am going to be taking a full team without trial characters, even though these are characters that I don't usually use in main content like Shei and Himiko, for example. With the Quantum and Weakness Break focus, it makes sense to take her, and especially the Fire for Himiko with those follow-up attacks. I'm going to be taking these buffs, which are really good for the weakness break efficiency and also doing damage to enemies that are already weakness broken. Hopefully Shei will keep up, since mine isn't that great, but I think she's still better than the trial character. All right, here we go. And we got Ron May, which I didn't mention also, since you know that's like the weakness break queen right there. So we want to focus on breaking. Himiko is going to be able to come in with the follow-up attacks after that, of course, which is really nice. So like in this case, right, I can break this one, and that is going to break the enemy, the main boss's weakness break, which is really good. That's why I chose that buff in particular. There we go. Now we can go ahead and break through. So let's do this, since the other one got its back up. Nice, and that's gonna proc Himiko and Shei right there. I can come on in with the follow-up attack. Oh, we're so close with Himiko's ultimate. It honestly feels like I'm playing pure fiction with this, and we're at group value 3 already, almost at 4. I feel like that's the quickest that we've been able to get the full value of damage, which is really crazy. There we go. We're already moving on to the next side. I love Shei though. Like, as much as I don't use her, I mean, look at that. Who else can absolutely obliterate the bar up there? Like, it's crazy what she's able to do to weakness break bars. Let's go ahead and use Himiko, and there we go. Shei will finish it off, and we still have 4 cycles left. We're moving on into Bronya already with grit level 4 still there. Yeah, actually, let's do that, because we'll be able to break this one over here soon enough as well. We're really close to Himiko there, so let's do this. Once I get Shei's ultimate, Bronya is already going to be broken, so we won't even need to worry about that. The only downfall right here is that we're about to run out of grit level 4, but that's okay. Then we can follow up with Shei here. That's going to give us the ultimate on top of everything, which is really nice. I mean, we already have all the ultimates, and at this point, the run's done. It's actually crazy. I think this was faster than in Viper Luna's, which just goes to show you how certain buffs can make certain characters even more broken, which is why I love the events in Honkai Star Rail. Like, how often do I actually get to use Shei because I haven't invested in her that much? Not that often, but this reminds me once again how broken she can be. And with that, we are done with the run. That was extremely quick with 3 cycles left. That was amazing. And like I've said in the past, my Shei is not too heavily invested. Absolutely stomped here. And for stage 4, I'm going to be bringing out my first ever main banner 5-star character, Seela. And the team's going to be comprised of a lot of similar units as to the team that I used for stage 3 with Imbibed Lune. And I'm going to be using these buffs where when I use Seela to kill off an enemy, which is what you want to do with her, keep coming in, killing off the little enemies while doing major damage to the big enemy. And then with this one, I'm going to be doing increased damage by my ultimates, which is going to be good. So I have that extra bit of damage on top of that with Seela's nuking capability. I think this is going to be really fun, and I'm excited to use Seela again. So let's get into it. You can do it, Seela. All right, and it's gonna be slow just like the last one to start off here. Like, I know for a fact Seela's probably not gonna kill there. Yeah, she's definitely not. I love my Seela though so much. Like, I missed her. Using her in the most recent Memory of Chaos that we had was a lot of fun. So the main focus you want to do on this stage, which is really fun, is to just play whack-a-mole on these smaller enemies. Especially on this first stage, you don't even want to focus the main guy. We're just gonna keep killing off these small enemies. Like I said, we're playing whack-a-mole on them, and it's just doing a big amount of damage to the main guy, which is awesome, of course. And with this last one, we should already move on to the second enemy. That damage is actually really good, what it does to them. This reminds me a lot of Simulated Universe World 7, where you're fighting the deer and you just keep coming in with the hunt pad. That's exactly what I'm pretty much doing. But instead of attacking the deer, I'm focusing for the most part on taking out these other enemies. And Fu Xuan can even be helpful here too, because look, I mean, she's able to kill all those off, and that's doing a big chunk of damage also. And then now what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll hit the main guy, since I am about to get my ultimate, and this should break through. Yep, there we go. And with that other buff, my ult should do a little bit. 118. Okay, that's actually not very much at all. Let's end this phase with Seela's ult as we enter into grit level 4. 324,000. That's pretty good. Let's boost her up now. Now with Japard again, no quantum weakness, so we want to focus these other enemies. All right, and with that, I'll have another chance to attack. Let's kill this enemy. I mean, it hasn't even been Japard's chance to attack it, and he's almost dead, which is pretty awesome. I'm really glad that they added a stage like this where you can bring someone like Scylla, because she definitely excels at this. This is what Scylla is busted for in Honkai Star Rail. This run is pretty much done. It was actually pretty fun. I think this is a very interesting way to play this stage. But with Scylla, it just makes this so easy. And for the final stage, I'm going to be taking a Dr. Ratio follow-up attack team. He is very good on this stage, especially because the enemies all consist of imaginary weakness except for Cocolia. I'm going to be taking Topaz as the trial character since unfortunately I don't have her. Same with Adventurin. But also I'm going to be taking Sparkle instead of someone like Argenti for that physical weakness. I'm really going to be focusing with this team a lack of debuff capabilities, which would go well with Dr. Ratio's kit, of course. I'm going to be focusing on attacking as much with him so I can keep putting the ult on there, but also I'm going to be taking advantage of buffs like this, whereas I attack more and more, I get more grit value and things like that. So I think that's going to be very helpful, and yeah, this team should do well. So let's see. All right, we have Numbi though, and of course Topaz and Numbi with Dr. Ratio is an amazing combo. Like I said, I wish I had her, kind of offsetting the debuffing damage that I'm missing out on. We'll come in here. Can I get a follow-up attack, please? There we go, finally. And we also have Adventuring coming in. Another one. Like, look at that synergy. That's amazing as well, and it's not done yet. Like, look at that. That's pretty good. All right, so we're almost done with stage 1 here, which is pretty solid. We almost have a grit value of 4. There we go, Dr. Ratio with that chalk hit, and we can start it off with Topaz on the next stage. This should get me to Sparkle's ultimate. Let's see. There we go. Nice. So that damage boost plus being able to get Dr. Ratio's ultimate here, we're going to come in with a lot of solid damage. But all right, Topaz, Dr. Ratio, all of them just come in, do all this damage. Really just focusing on getting the ult onto the main enemy. Come on, Topaz, let's get that big damage in. We're going to hit one more time. We're really close to Dr. Ratio's ult now. All right, let's follow it up here. We can just keep attacking with Topaz actually, which is amazing also. Look at all that damage that she just did. But we should be able to here. There we go. Nice. So we can go into the next phase with everything. So unfortunately, when it comes to Cocolia, she doesn't actually have an imaginary weakness. So this is where someone like Silver Wolf would have definitely come in handy. But, you know, we're way more than fine. So, all right, here we go. So let's drop Dr. Ratio ult in right before we actually ended up getting the grid value for it. So that's nice. So we're going to have an extra Dr. Ratio ult in reserve. And with this, we're going to break through Cocolia. Nice. She's so close to being dead too. Like, she's very nearly dead. Coming in with one more Dr. Ratio. 141,000 on top of the 130. That's pretty good. And the final hit. Oh, she's just not dying. There we go. Now she's dead. Very good. We still had a cycle left. Yeah, this team was really solid. I think if I would have put at least one Nihility character in there, the damage, like I said, would have been a lot higher. But man, with Adventurin and Topaz, Dr. Ratio gets all of the attempts to attack that he could possibly ever need. And there we have it. That is the end of this event for me. I actually had a lot of fun using different characters in this video, especially because some of these team comps, as I've said, are ones that I wouldn't normally use otherwise, and I think that makes for a pretty fun event. And that is gonna do it. Let me know what characters you guys were taking onto this. Were you using all trials, or were you able to bring some other characters that meet the criteria for the bonuses that weren't mentioned here? Let me know what you guys also thought of the teams that I took. I think that I did a pretty good job, all things considered, and yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.